I work in behavior change in malaria, and I'm very interested to hear how much of a role did that communications and behavior change really play in kind of bringing hopefully the epidemic to its last end phase. I know I was reading a New York Times article where they're talking about the original IEC materials that went out, which was Ebola, it kills you, and that was pretty much it. And so, I mean, clearly the behavior change messaging has been developed since then. And I guess what would be the lessons learned from that, and how much did that play in terms of just bringing this to a halt?
Sam, would you like to answer?
Yeah, thank you. As you rightfully said, the initial messages were scary. I mean, they were scary. So what we did then was, number one, we tried to intervene by by having more survivors. And this was simple. I mean, any acute viral fever, we know it runs a course. So if you give supportive therapy, people can just survive. So what we did was give supportive therapy. And then when they were saying 80% mortality, we changed it to mean 80% survival now. And so in the initial reports that we were giving out that this is what disease or whatever, no, what we got was the survivors now were the ones who were telling the message. They were telling the message, that was one. Then the second thing, the reports that we gave out, the deaths and everything were what came last. There's the good news first. So first we speak about how many have survived today. So I still get daily reports. My daily report tells me how many survived to date. 8,000 have survived. How many have admitted this, have admitted, how many deaths comes last? And that's the last, it comes in very small letters. So it doesn't appear so scary because now we see a lot of people who have survived, and then we see a lot of hope in people because they know that they can come to the facilities and get well. And that is, in fact, what brought a lot of people who were out there in the communities just hiding the disease. That is what gave them confidence now to come to the health facilities for help.
Tom.
Just a quick, thank you for raising that. I was sitting here thinking we hadn't talked about the community, and that's really the essence of Ebola control. And we know that from other countries that Uganda had a case last year, but they had one case. The community immediately recognized this is that disease. They instituted safe burial, washed their hands, et cetera, et cetera. The power for addressing Ebola really rests with the community. On the messaging, yeah, it's been a lot of negative. I've sat down with anthropologists. It's been a lot of negative messaging rather than saying, don't do this. What can you do to bury your loved one? What can you do to care for your... Because this really is a disease that's transmitted through love and compassion. Families are going to care for their loved ones no matter what we say on a poster or a billboard. So how can you help them to do that as safely as possible? So I think the communications piece has been perhaps under-emphasized in all of this. And we've learned many lessons from other diseases. I come from the HIV background. It's of paramount importance to have up front as an intervention.